Hey, it's Elaine. This is episode 28 of the Red Pilled Orange Pill Investor, and I'm just going to explain theta a little bit. Selling covered calls against your shares is basically just collecting theta, and I guess it's probably the most important Greek to understand for this strategy. So this is the amount of value that your option is going to decrease every day. And so you sold this for 34 cents, and then for the next 6 days, 6 times 0.584, that's approximately 30 cents and something. And so it's not the, this is probably the average amount. So it has to basically go to zero. If the price stays under 12, this has to go to zero by next Friday. And so it's the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic value. So there's a little bit of value built into the price, and there's a little bit of value built into the time. And we're collecting the value that's built into the time. That's theta. And so all of the money that's built into the time has to go to zero by next Friday. So you are guaranteed to collect this 34 cents by next Friday. Now, if the price stays under 12, you'll collect all of it. At expiration, these deltas and thetas, these all change drastically when it gets within an hour or two of expiration. And the only value left is the intrinsic value, which would be the actual price compared to the strike. So if the price is 12, right on the nose, there's no intrinsic value whatsoever, and this would just expire worthless. If the price of the stock jumps to $12.50, then the price of this option would actually go up to 50 cents, the difference between 12 and 50 cents. And so all of the extrinsic value is gone, and you collected the 34 cents. However, the intrinsic value has actually increased because the price is $11.50 right now. So the price would come up, would have to come up $1 in order for, at expiration, for the intrinsic value of this option to go to 50 cents. In the Money YouTube channel has a way more in-depth and probably 10 times better explanation for this. I've linked it in videos before, but in the interest of laziness, just do a YouTube search for the In the Money channel, a blonde kid named Adam, and he's got a basics options videos that explain, intrinsic and extrinsic values. And but the point of this is just to collect this value here, and in return we're sacrificing our upside. So I'm happy to collect 34 cents, which is basically 3%. So I own 100 shares of this. I paid $1,200. 3% of $1,200 is about 36. So I'm collecting a 3% return this week in order to sacrifice any upside over $12. Now, if the price goes up 54 cents to $12, I also collect the intrinsic value up to 12. So that would be another 4%. If this landed perfectly at $12, I'd collect the 3% here and the 4% here, and you actually get 7% on your money. So this 3% is guaranteed, and the 4% is just possible. So really, let's hit the calculator. If you collect, 3% times 52 weeks is 150% for the year. So limiting your upside just makes mathematical sense to me. Now, if you had 10,000 shares, you can actually collect the full 3% on 3%, and the formula for that would be 1.03 to the 52nd power. You'd actually 4.6x your money instead of just 1.5xing it. If all you own is 100 shares and you just sell 3% every week, then you have to add up all the 3%. And 3% 52 times is 156%. However, if you can collect, if you have 10,000 shares of this, actually you wouldn't even need 10,000 shares. Generally, I use 10,000 if you're only collecting 1%, but you'd only actually need 3,333 shares if you're collecting 3%, because you'd still be able to buy 100 shares of this. If you had 3,300 shares, you'd sell 33 calls, get, it might take a little bit more. You might need 1,400 shares. But the point is, you'd only need the third as much if you're getting 3%. You'd need 10,000 if you're getting 1% ROI. And if you're collecting 2%, then you'd only need 5,000 shares. 3%, you'd need 10,000 divided by 3, approximately 3,400, rounding off to and rounding up to a whole number. I mean, sometimes, you know, these Bitcoin stocks are fairly volatile, so sometimes you can get 5% at the money. And if you're willing to sacrifice all of your upside, I mean, you can sell this. Yeah, this is almost 5% right here. So 4.5 maybe. If you're willing to sell, sacrifice almost all of your upside, you'd only be getting like 6 cents of upside from 1144 to 1150. You're welcome to do that, but Bitcoin is liable to pop off at any moment, so I always build some call away value into my contracts. I don't know why you would invest in something if you thought it was just going to trade sideways forever, but if that was your assumption, then yeah, you could just sell the money. And for some reason, and actually around October 2025, when my assumption that the next bull market in Bitcoin will be ending, I may start doing that, just selling very aggressive at the money calls. I mean, how you could even sell below at the money. That seems a little riskier, but you know, we'll see. My base assumption is that the bull market for Bitcoin, the cycle has started and will last a couple of years. Probably started in October-ish, so October 2023 to October 2025, and you know, I don't do any of those calculations myself, but I follow the Plan B account on YouTube and Twitter, and his stock to flow model. He's actually done videos on some other models, and they all hold up fairly well with each other. So that's my assumption, is that I'm planning to ride the next bull market for Bitcoin into 2025, and then make some decisions from there. All right, be good, y'all.